go to work. So, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin, the, I don't know, comedian? I guess she's kind of a comedian. She's kind of funny. She's got funny bits, I guess. She does this photo where she's holding up a severed head, a bloodied severed head of Donald Trump. And she's got this death stare at the camera, like the stare of some homicidal maniac. And it was released, I guess, I don't know, I saw the watermark for the TMZ, so I guess maybe TMZ put it out initially. Anyway, so she got a lot of backlash for it because people were like, what the fuck? You know, it's one thing to crack jokes, but that was it's a pretty gory image, and yeah, so anyway, people got mad at her. People started, you know, sending a lot of hate her way, and it wasn't long after that she came out and she basically apologized. She said, I'm sorry, I went too far, I'm a comedian, it wasn't funny, I'm sorry I offended a bunch of people. You know, she didn't apologize to the president or his family, but you know, she apologized for offending people, which I'm of two minds about. First off, you're a comedian, and you shouldn't apologize for your work. If it's not funny, it's not funny. You just try to move past it. But on the other hand, I think it was an irresponsible thing to do. I think that there's already a lot of violent rhetoric and violent action on the left side towards, you know, people on the right. It's been normalized, and it's been, in some cases, encouraged. And when you have celebrities like this coming out with photos like that, it's an endorsement of violence towards people you disagree with in, ideologically or politically. And you'll notice that most of the violence you see is on the left, but all the media can talk about is violence from right-wing extremists. For instance, this whole, I want to say it was in Portland, Oregon? Is it in Portland? Anyway, some guy on a train was harassing someone, harassing some people, and two people confronted him, and he ended up stabbing them. He was ultimately apprehended, and the media, before, you know, looking into it, and it would have been 2 minutes of looking into his online social media profile, before looking into it, you know, started saying this is Trump's America. You know, this is because of the violent rhetoric and the hateful rhetoric coming from Trump during his campaign, and it's been normalized by the alt-right and all this sort of stuff. The guy was a Jill Stein and Bernie supporter. He hated Christians, Jews, and Muslims. So he actually went to a free speech rally to attack Trump supporters at one point in recent history. So this idea that he was a Trump supporter, this is Trump's America, this is Trump's doing. Sorry, it's from the normalization of violence against your political opponents, your ideological opponents, that comes from the left. And so this whole Kathy Griffin thing, I think it was smart for her to back down from it and apologize. And you can see in the apology video that she's serious. She's like, okay, I know it was bad. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. She's almost panicked about it, right? I don't know if that's just her demeanor, that's her comedic style. She does have that sort of fast-talking, you know, presentation style when she's doing her bits. So maybe that was just and an extension of that. But to me, it seemed like she's like, holy shit, I'm really sorry. It's like kind of like, you know, when you spill a drink all over your friend's brand new board game. You're so apologetic. You're like, oh my God, shit, I'm sorry. Happened to me. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was a good thing that she did, because she could have gone the other route. She could have doubled down. She could have said, you know, F you to all of you. I don't give a shit. Or, you know, she could have gone right after, you know, Trump supporters. But she didn't, right? She backed down. And I'm glad she didn't double down on it and she stepped back down, because I think, you know, things like this, these could be, you know, those benchmarks. These could be these moments that, you know, could send things over the edge. Crossing the Rubicon, so to speak, right? I don't know. I just, on the one hand, like I said, you shouldn't apologize for your jokes if you're a comedian. On the other hand, as a public official, not a public official, but as a public personality, as a celebrity, I think it was an irresponsible thing to do, and I'm glad she walked it back as opposed to double down. So, there's that. But as this whole, you know, violent rhetoric and violent normalization of violence just sort of ramping up, I want to go back to that a little bit. If you watch the media, anytime there's you know, gross violence that seems politically or culturally or socially motivated in the United States, it's immediately attributed to Trump. This is Trump's America. It's because of his violent, hateful rhetoric. It's blah, 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 blah. Like when that politician body slammed the reporter, allegedly body slammed the reporter. There's no video footage of it. I don't know why there is no video footage of it. But Don Lemon was on CNN talking about how this is because of Trump's hatred for the media. That's why this guy felt it was okay to body slam this reporter. What? No. This guy lost his cool at a reporter who, you know, he clearly had run-ins with in the past, at least from that particular news outlet. And he said enough is enough. According to his statement, according to his side statement, it's like, look, we had gone into another room. They had barged in after I told them we'll talk about it later, and continued to badger him. So, you know, he apparently pushed the microphone or phone or whatever it was that was recording him out of the way and shoved him back out, tried to shove him back out the door. My guess is the guy lost his footing, fell. Because there's no video footage of it, I'm inclined to think that a lot less happened than actually did. Just like with that whole Corey Lewandowski, Michelle Fields thing. We were talking about how, you know, he threw her to the floor. No, he pulled her aside and said, get lost, basically. Same thing I'm sure happened in this body slam incident, right? He probably, you know, got physical with the guy, got angry with the guy, tried to shove him back out the door, and maybe the guy lost his footing, maybe he was a little rougher than he should have been, and his glasses probably fell off, or he got knocked to the ground, his glasses broke. You broke my glasses and you body slammed me. I don't think it was a body slam. Anybody who's familiar with wrestling knows what a body slam is. Anyway. But Don Lemon was, you know, beside himself that a commentator wouldn't own up to the fact that the reason this happened is because of Trump's hatred for the media and Trump's rhetoric about journalists being the enemy of the state, or enemy of the people, I should say. Yeah, Don Lemon's an idiot anyway. But you know my feelings about Don Lemon. But again, this whole idea that any outbreak of, you know, bad behavior on the part of anybody is automatically Donald Trump's fault. When it's on the left, people giving excuses for violent riots and physical assault against, you know, alt-right, libertarian, free speech, conservative, right-wing voices, you know, shutting down college campuses to get a day without white people. If you've heard about this evergreen campus nonsense. Anyway, you know, I'm sort of going all over the place because it all sort of ties in, right? This left-wing idea that it's okay to silence your political opponents because they are morally inferior to you. And it's okay to physically attack your political opponents because they need to be destroyed. And this is specifically on the left, right? You don't see this on the right. And anytime there's like, oh, this person, this Muslima who had her hijab torn away from her head by Trump supporters, anytime you see stuff like that, it actually turns out to be a hoax. Of course, the hoax part of it doesn't really make the newspapers, doesn't really make the media, it doesn't really make the 6 o'clock news. It's always, you know, the report, the allegation. And this is why journalism is failing, and this is why media is dying. But yeah. Anyway, that's my bit for today. I'm at work now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.